So here we have a couple of saxophones that at a glance look very similar. In fact, one of them was made in 1965 and the other one was made in 2023 or possibly 2022, thereabouts. It was bought in 2023. So one is a King Super 20 and the other one is a Yanagisawa AW010. And to make it dress like the King Super 20, the AKZ3 sterling silver neck has been put on it. So really two different horns. Unsurprisingly to some, the sterling silver neck does give a nod and a wink in sound to the King Super 20 over its original brass neck. But a lot of it, I wouldn't say they sound the same, but remember you can get a player with two different horns and two different mouthpiece and reed setups. Eventually they're going to sound back like the player. So that's the majority of the deal here. The neck wasn't really added to make it a King Super 20. It was just aesthetically and for all reasons really, it just suits the Yanagisawa. So let's just go through the differences a little bit. Starting at the top then, we've just said this one would originally have come with a brass neck, but it's been swapped out for the AKZ3. And the angle of that neck isn't as close to 90 degrees as the King Super 21. Both underslung. The King Super 20 has bright nickel coloured rods and keys rods and stuff. They're both original condition. The bell to body brace there on the Yanagisawa is a flat pressed out and then shaped affair with a hole cut in it. It looks like the did I say Yanagisawa? I meant the King Super 20. The Yanagisawa one is a circle held on with the 3 points. It's got an adjustable metal thumb hook. This one's got a silver coloured or nickel coloured non-adjustable thumb hook. The pants guard is solid on the King Super 20. Nicely cut out and shaped on the Yanagisawa. More of the engraving comes around the side of the bell on the Yanagisawa. Not really so on the King Super 20. The strap eye on the King Super 20 is nickel coloured and silver coloured on the Yanagisawa. Okay, some ornate lines around those braces and not on the King Super 20. Done up there with screws. That'll be soldered and that'll be soldered. Okay, also the engraving goes down onto the bow and not so on the King Super 20. Right, the pads that come on the Yanagisawa are allegedly waterproof leather pads. I don't know what the equivalent would have been on an original King Super 20. So going back up to the neck, you can see that that's the AKZ3. Incidentally, if you were to purchase an AW033 sterling silver neck, it would look a little more like that one with the brass coloured strip up the centre. So going back down to the bell on the Yanagisawa, that's what the engraving is like. And on the King Super 20, that's what it's like. This G-sharp cluster on the King Super 20. Doesn't have a link arm between the C-sharp and the B-flat. And by the time they got to Series 3 on King Super 20s, this G-sharp cluster was probably as comfortable as it was going to get, and then they carried on just changing the exterior shape here and there slightly. Before that, they were a little bit more hard work, unless you really got used to them. On the Yanagisawa, there's the link arm. Interestingly enough, we've got a pearl here, and there's not one on the King Super 20. When you go back to the early King Super 20s, and they would have had pearls on these palm keys, pearls on the side keys, and engraving on a lot more cups that were all dropped. So it's actually gone behind this in those terms, some 57 years beforehand. So the posts on this one are all brass coloured, and they are mounted on ribs which are soldered to the body. The posts on the King Super 20 are nickel, and they're all soldered directly to the body. The key cups are all conical on the King Super 20. The key cups are all flat on the Yanagisawa. They remain unengraved on the B and B flat key, but they are engraved on the King Super 20. Interestingly, the bottom C guard has got 3 feet on it on the Yanagisawa, only 2 feet on the King Super 20, but they've got 2 screws in that side and 2 screws in that side to try and make that stable. And another thing that Yanagisawa have done over most manufacturers actually is you've got the double arm on the bottom C and the double arm on the B. Once more, you have a pearl key there, and you don't on the King Super 20. I'm not sure what else there is to say except for 2 beautiful altos that both play extremely well in their own right and sound great.